Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, Evil Dungeon Master channel here on YouTube. I'm going to continue along with my AD&D solo series here today. I wanted to do a video today, and I wanted to have this up earlier in the week, but I've had some things going on. I had to go to the doctor, get a procedure done. And then we had the the windstorm just the other day that was knocking out the power constantly. So the internet was down, and I couldn't have my live stream. I was real pissed off. I couldn't get this video up, but today everything seemed to be working fine, so I got the video up. Now I want to do a video continuing along in the series of AD&D of calendars, making up your calendar, how you want to go about doing that. And I looked around, and while there is a good website for that, I think it's called fantasycalendars.com or something, you have to pay for it. And yeah, you can get a basic free calendar, but it kind of stinks. I didn't care for it. And the videos that I saw out there were people talking about calendars and not really doing anything about showing you how to make a calendar. So that kind of ticked me off. I wanted to do it so I could show you guys a calendar. Now I started doing a calendar, and the important thing to do when making a calendar up is decide how you want to model your calendar. Do you want to model it after modern day calendars, or do you want to model it after your made up whatever you want to make up? Now, for the Asmodeus campaign that we're doing right here for solo, I actually had made up a year at a glance calendar, which I'll bring up here for y'all to see. This is my year at a glance calendar that I would have for the base of the campaign. So you would have each month. I decided it was 10 months, and Frostwane, Snowmelt, Bloomtide, Suncrest, kind of just figuring things out as I was going along. And then the major events that could happen, and I was just kind of spitballing things that I wanted to happen in the campaign. Now these don't have to happen, and when it comes to solo gaming, a lot of times those things are I want to say, when you're playing with Mythic Game Master Emulator, it's done on the fly. So let's break into what it looks like on a campaign calendar that I've been using for my actual gaming group, and then I can explain a little bit better how we can get this all together. So again, you're going to want to determine how many months you want to have and how many weeks and how many days. Generally, I personally like to stick with kind of a calendar that looks like ours in the real world, but just use a different time period. Now for my basic fantasy game, which is not AD&D, I know that, but it's just a reference, and we can use it for just kind of a jumping off point. I'll bring that in here. I have it in my Obsidian notes. Now here's my year at a glance that I started making up for the campaign we just started. Now we just kind of started like last week, so there's nothing really major happening. This is my year at a glance calendar where I can have all the events that I want to see really quickly. When it comes to the actual month itself, I broke it down to just hour months. That's it. I know it's not like alphabetical here or purpose. I was just kind of building it on here, but I have them all here properly done. Now, when it comes into the month itself, as you can see, I've done it like this. And this column, I'll explain in a minute here for you. The temperature I did ahead of time, the weather condition I did ahead of time, and the moon phases, I've kind of looked at the calendar and tried to figure out when the moon phases were. Moon phases are really not that important when it comes to making calendars. I mean, I guess it could if you have a certain type of character class you're playing in that involves some, I don't know. I put moon phases in mostly simple fact that my players constantly will be like, so what's the temperature outside? What is it doing? What's the moon phase? What's the exact position of the sun? I want to beat them over the head, so I have all this stuff written out. So when it comes to soloing, oh, I forgot. This column right here was just to keep track of how much time went by in the campaign. So what I would do is if when days passed and we were traveling, I would just, go through this and put an X, saying that day was completed, and then that's how many food and ration that you would have to minus out. Now, like I said, we only played for a little while on the first day of January 1st, and I told them it was snowing, and they went through a little, cellar clear out, and there was only a half a day, so I put half a day when we ended. But for this type of calendar in solo, the event column here can easily be used when you roll an event or meet a new NPC or something. So if you're in your first day and you roll a major event, it's like, you know, you meet let's see, NPC. Let's see, what is an NPC? I'm trying to get the right NPC. John, who steals dagger from Mayor. So you have a record of your events that happened on that day, and if you're using Mythic, you obviously will copy it down on your event sheet, but if you're using something else, you can use this along with it. And it's a good idea to keep track of, because you have something to look back on. Even if this event or this thread, so to speak, has been resolved, you actually have it listed on what day of your calendar it actually happened, in case you do have to go back and reference it. And you can also transfer this onto the larger calendar here, and you could just put, you know, Jan 1, dagger stolen, you know, like that. So it was a reference. And that's really how I would do calendars in my campaigns. I used to write these all out when I was younger, and it was a pain in the ass. But now that we have computers and spreadsheets and things like that, I could sit here and kind of do the spreadsheet up. Now, when it comes to the temperature, you're probably asking, okay, so what about that, Vince? Well, I try to base it off a temperate area that I'm familiar with. Now, I'm in the Texas area, so generally in January, it's not going to see these temperatures. Kind of, it will see these temperatures. Maybe not so much. Yeah, February is not these temperatures. I kind of based it off of maybe like a northeast temperature, something that I'm very familiar with. And as far as snowing and cloudy, the weather, these are things that I have on another chart they have buried away. I got to find that chart again. I think it's on a piece of paper somewhere, that I would roll during the month. And I rolled ahead of time so I can get it done, so people will know it's snowing. Okay, today is cloudy. Oh, it's snowing again lightly. You know, today's clear, today's cloudy, today's snowing. There's not going to be really any rain in the cold months, except when it gets a little bit. I mean, I guess I could add like days that are like, instead of cloudy, I could put raining and it turns into sleet. But, you know, you get cloudy and it's snowing, you know, it's clear. In June, it's sunny, cloudy, and you put things like that in the dry temperate zones or the temperate zones. You can, whatever you want to do. And yeah, again, this is for my basic fantasy campaign. And I haven't put out the actual like events yet. Now, events in a campaign are a little bit different than a solo game, but as you can see here, I did some things like, you know, New Year's Feast, Winter Solstice Festival, things that'll happen in Frostwane. You can kind of get an idea when that's supposed to be. Snowmelt, the thawing ritual, the first planting ritual. Things like, I wanted to put major holidays in there so my character can kind of get, you know, into the world. And I'm going to adjust these a little bit more as we go on to more acclimate into the whole Asmodeus theme, because this really isn't an Asmodean theme going on here. This is more just general, as I was trying to fill this in, giving ideas so I can give you ideas for this video. Now, I hope this has given you some type of I think I probably didn't announce this. I started in the year 1100. CY would be calendar year. I was trying to keep it very simple. I think calendar year comes from Greyhawk, I believe. They use CY calendar year. I'm not 100% positive. I've always just used CY, just calendar year, to make it easy. I didn't want to do, you know, AD, BC, things like that, because that didn't really apply. I mean, I could do before Asmodeus, after Asmodeus, if you really want me to, which would be kind of, you know, I guess, AA like that, or year of Asmodeus. It's been 1100 years since the year of Asmodeus. Something like that would be what we can use for this campaign. And again, when I break it down into months, which Frostwane I'll probably do like, you know, maybe 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, just to make it simple. And maybe I'll do Monday, Tuesday, like that, 7 days a week or something, maybe 5 days a week. But what I want to be able to keep track of, more importantly than the temperature and the weather, is the events. I want to have the events and be able to keep track of food and water as well, of what happened on that day. If a thread pops up that something happened, I want to write it down so I can reference it back. again, yeah, I can use the reference sheet that you can use with Mythic or something, but once you scratch those things off the list, they don't move forward. And I always thought this was a great way to actually keep track and look back at a glance to see what happened, especially if you're looking at this view and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I met this guy that day, or oh yeah, that's right, that guy stole that thing, we never really did find out what happened to him. Things like that. Now, I hope that's given you some great ideas for calendars in your solo game, or a way to make up a calendar just for your game in general. It's not that hard to make up calendars. And hopefully with this video, it made it a lot easier and I was straight to the point. And if you have any questions, just hit me up below. I'll try to answer them best I can. Don't forget to go to the Evil DM. TheEvilDM.com is my website. Ko-fi.com/TheEvilDM is my site to support me if you want to support me. Otherwise, just click join here on the YouTube channel for 99 cents a month and you could be a member and get videos ahead of time. With that said, I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, and God bless. We'll keep praying for you.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be